Hello everyone, I am Fudge 3004. Welcome back to Space Engineers 2. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. I always enjoy having you here. Sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's get into some gaming. So the game is a little glitchy right now, and they just came out with Vertical Slice 2.2. And in this, they have a whole bunch of new things. There is now weather on the planets. Oh, that's a long ways down. I don't want to go down there. And we have to start over if we want to see a lot of the new stuff. There is going to be an asteroid ring around the planets. There are also a moon around this planet, and there's a moon around Kemik. And the only way that we can see the new changes is to start up a new game. So that's what I've done, and now we just need to go through all of this stuff again. I'm going to get through this stuff, and then we're going to go into space and go to the space station, probably. And then we can see some of the things, that are out in space. Maybe we'll see the moon, and we'll be able to see new things. There is, like I said, weather on here, and there is also weapons in the game. So we will have to build weapons if we make weapons and the ammo for it if we're going to do things. Down there in like the basin down there, there's going to be dust storms and stuff like that with wind and stuff like that, but the wind will not push your ship around or anything. That will be coming in the future, so just so that you know, so that you're aware. Up in these areas where there's like rain and stuff like that is where we will be having rainstorms, and there will still be wind, but there'll also be rainstorms up in these kind of areas up here, just so that you are aware. So things have changed. We do have to start over to do it, and I've been kind of waiting for it. I was going to build a base, but decided to wait for the next update before I did anything. So now that we have some stuff happening, what the heck is wrong with that ground? Holy moly. In any case, things are a little, off a little bit, but that's okay because they will get everything fixed. There are a lot of changes. Oh, wow, look at that. You can see Delphos now. Man, that makes me dizzy seeing those clouds go over. I feel like I'm falling. Anyway, Delphos has a killing field. I talked about it. That is now in, so if you get too close to Delphos, you will be sucked in and killed. So that's very interesting. What I have to do is do all of the stuff that we did the first time, and I'm going to do all of that, and then we'll go over some more stuff once we get to that point. A lot of the story has not changed at all, and the gameplay is still pretty much the same at the beginning. I think what they said is over there in like the wastelands is things are going to be much harsher than in like the desert areas. So you do need to be aware of that. There could be other really bad hazards in the wastelands that there's not in the deserts. So, do be aware of that kind of thing. So I'm just going to the second objective, and you do build the ship the same way and all of that stuff that I did before. And I also changed it to miles per hour instead of kilometers an hour. So, to have that done, then we're just going to have to go and see if we can figure out what we're going to do and try to get out to space. When I got out of the ship, I noticed that if you listen and you look, you can see rain. Sweet, it's raining and there's storms. That's cool. So this is one of the things that they were talking about. It's like the wind is also blowing it up a little bit. The grass is definitely not as sharp as it did look, but then again, it's also moving around, so, there is that. But I do like that there's rain now. That's awesome. So this will be definitely one of the rain zones, I guess, so that's actually really cool. That is pretty doggone amazing. I really do like this. This is going to be pretty much a lot of fun, I hope, when they get everything done. This is going to be very exciting to do a lot of stuff with. I like how as I'm going along with the rain, you can kind of barely see out there. It looks like real rain, when you can only see a certain distance. That is crazy. I like that. This is cool. I really like the atmosphere that it has, that's besides the atmosphere that it does have with the rain and stuff, but the atmosphere that it gives, the vibes that it gives, that's really cool. I am actually enjoying this new system, and I like the rain passing by. That's really cool. I am thoroughly enjoying this. It is a little like glitchy every now and then, but overall I think it's actually pretty good. And again, just going through these quick missions, try to get this done so that hopefully we can go back up to space, and then we can go up to the solar system, or the space station, and go see what's up there. Cannot see whatever's out there, and the ground down there, I can't even really see it. That is crazy. I like this. It makes it much more dangerous to navigate through area, even though it's the daytime. It really makes it pretty awesome that you have to be very careful when you're navigating. That is so cool. Looks like the rain has subsided, and now it looks like it should with clear skies. So that rain really was obscuring a lot. That's crazy. I thought this was part of the mission, but it isn't. It's just a little outpost out here that I happened to come across. Oh, ice and magnesium. Oh, that's cool. Well, that ice definitely looks different than it did, huh? Magnesium, we may need that, because that's what we use to make the weapons with. So we probably am going to need to keep some of that stuff on hand. There was some magnesium powder in this chest right over here. So that was something new that I hadn't seen before. So I'm about to go and check what's in these and just go see. There's some more. Okay, so there's quite a bit of magnesium powder around and magnesium bars. Okay, that's cool. Let me see. I don't know if I can take all. Yeah, I guess I can just double click it. And construction components. Okay, that's going to be a little bit heavy, but we may need it. We're getting pretty full. And there's the O2H2 generator, which is good. So that's okay. And I'm going to have to probably see about recharging the battery or something. And okay, good. I can take that battery and replace that. I have a couple of med kits. So let me just go and take out that battery. And then I'm going to swap out that for this battery. And then I can probably put in the one that's a little bit fuller, this one here. So let me put in the one that's lowest into the ship, so that way, I don't accidentally put it in when I don't want to. Okay. And then I can just go ahead and deposit this stuff into the ship too, so that way I'm not carrying a whole bunch of stuff that I don't need to be. Okay, and then I can do probably this one here. That's a 32%, and we're going to have to find a place to get the ship going, because it is low on battery, and we're definitely going to have to figure that part out. I decided to stop and go see if I can get some power generation on here. I'm putting down some solar panels. And so if you want to turn them, you used to be able to press insert, delete, home, and page up and page down to turn them. But now if you press control, then you have QWEASD. And if I press Q and then W and whatever combination that you can think of down at the bottom there on the left in the middle above the toolbar, you can kind of see it a little bit. Also has a grid system, so we don't have to have that, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then I can maybe go and see about building these. So hopefully I'll be able to have enough stuff, and then I can have some good solar panels that'll help keep the ship, going. At least that's what I'm hoping, and hopefully it will help, and then we'll be able to, keep the battery charged up a little bit. Well, it does look like it's working. It's at 41% now, which is good. That means that's going to help out a lot. And that should be able to help us get, good charge in for the ship. Said it is a little glitchy here and there. It says it loads up stuff, so that's one of the things you do got to be aware of. But in any case, I'm going to get this finished, and then hopefully we'll be able to go out to space after we get the ship with the thrusters to be able to get out of the atmosphere. Finished. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I kind of had a little bit of a scare there. I was mining the ice up in the cave, and as you can see on the bottom left, my hydrogen is almost gone. So, yeah, I fell through the terrain, and it was glitching really bad. So now I don't have hardly any hydrogen to try to get back up to where I need to be, because now I have to get back up to the grasshopper, and it's a long ways out there, and I was just falling through the train. So do be aware that the game still has some issues. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. I apparently fell a very long ways, as you can see, because the grasshopper is way up there. And I fell through. You could see like the ground and stuff, but I could not get through it. I finally did, but there for a little bit I wasn't too sure that I was actually going to survive and was going to lose everything that I had worked to get. But I did get out, and just had to keep drilling and kind of flying, but not with the shift to make it go fast. But I did end up getting out, and I don't think that happened the first time we were playing, so I don't know why it happened this time. But I got to get back to the grasshopper. I do have a lot of ice on me. I did actually happen to get quite a bit of that, so like I have 5,000 ice. I think that's what I had the first time too, so that way we can, you know, hopefully do okay. I'm gonna get back, get that ship repaired, get the ice loaded so we can turn it into hydrogen, and then we should be well on our way to, you know, going into space. And then, oh, you know what? If we look right now, I want to show you something. I just saw the corner of my eye. I don't know if you saw it too. You may have. But see that streak right at the tip of the drill? All right there. I do believe that's going to be the rings that are around the planet. That's cool, man. I don't know where the moon is, but that could potentially be the moon. I really don't know. We're going to have to go and see. But at any rate, that looks like the rings right there. So that's going to be pretty awesome if that is. And then we can actually go and see what that looks like. It's going to be like, you know, the rings of Saturn or whatever. It looks dense, but it isn't as dense as it would look, as it would seem. So all I got to do is probably, I guess, safely fly down to there and hopefully not wreck and get all, you know, dead in the process. Okay, there we go. That was kind of scary. I have this guy charging, so I just go to here so you can discharge, charge, or auto, and I put it on charge so that way you can, you know, get this guy going, and it's a 69%. That's awesome. That way we have some good charge going along with it. No, no! My ship glitched and I am way back over here now, so I have to go and see if I can find my backpack. It would not get off of that platform at all. I don't know why, it just would not fly. So I need to go back up and get ice. It just was not working well. That was rather disastrous. I do gotta say, the ship is completely destroyed. It would not let go. I noticed going over there, it was having a hard time getting up to where the ice cave is. So the ship is completely gone. Not the good ship, but the little grasshopper that I had the things on. So now I need to take this one over there. And for whatever reason, it just would... Oh, it weighed too much. I put all that stuff in the inventory, didn't I? I forgot about that. Probably just weighed a little bit too much, more than it could handle. Well, I guess we will go see what we can find and take that stuff back and hopefully be able to get off of here. So that's the remnants of the ship right there. And now I just gotta find whatever it is that I can of the ship and hope that we have enough stuff. Found my backpack. I did get some magnesium ingots, but the powder and all of that stuff was on the ship. And it kind of didn't do so well. So now I can take all of this stuff
inventory full
back. Okay. Put those guys in there. My inventory is full for some reason. And it doesn't say that it's full, but yet it is telling me that it's full. Okay. Now. Okay, that guy's gone. I don't know if there's going to be anything else to get. It doesn't look like it. So the magnesium and all of that stuff, I guess, is just gone. I did get a few 6 ingots. That's all that there was. Everything else is totally destroyed. So all of the ores and all that stuff that I have is just gone. It is 100% gone. That is unfortunate, but, you know, I guess that does happen. Now, I'm just going to try to get back up there, get the ice in, and we're going to go up, because this is more about showing what's up there, rather than... I was hoping that wouldn't have happened, but probably just a little bit too much weight on the ship, and I didn't think about that. So, and of course, I didn't save it, because I wasn't thinking about it. In any case, I'm going to get back and go see if I can load up the ship. What? Right down there is where I fell, and I just fell again right now. So, do be very careful when gathering the ice, because that area is not very safe, and that's one of the biggest problems is, right now that's the only ice. I do have some ice on the ship, but it keeps on saying to deposit more, so I guess what I'm going to have to do is go and see if I can find another area that may actually have the ice, because it says deposit ice, and I already did deposit some ice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get more ice. Okay, cool. Looks like I am. So as long as I can get some ice, I will be okay. It's just, yeah, falling through that is kind of scary, and it's kind of hard on the game when you're trying to do things. Well, it is now nighttime, and I'm right by the base where we can deposit the ice. And if you look up there, I'm going to land, and then we'll go ahead and look at that real quick. So you can really see the ring right now, and I think that's actually pretty doggone awesome. There we go. Boy, this thing's hard to see at night. Holy moly, you'd think it wouldn't be so hard, but light apparently isn't very bright for the ship, and that's okay, but still. So we lost another ship. Did that the first game, although that one was due to, you know, trying to go upright. And I didn't realize that that was going to happen. This one was due to weight mainly, and so there is that. Let me just... There we go. I was trying to press A. Okay, there we go. Let's shut that guy off. Alright, so right there, looks like that is the rings around the planet, and I think that's actually pretty awesome. So we can't see it that way because the sun isn't shining over there. You can kind of see a little strip right there, but the sun is shining more on this side, so you can really see the rings over there, and that's pretty doggone awesome. I think that looks really cool. Let me just go ahead and deposit all of this ice into here. Okay, there we go. Now I need to actually put the ice into... Okay, that's the S2-Ep1 generator. That's okay. Let me go ahead and put that into the cargo container, so that way we have enough ice in there, and that's good. I did grind down those pieces that were there. Alright, got that done. Now, once you've gathered at least 2,000 kilograms of ice, return to the ship. Load it into the cargo container. That's at least 2,000 kilograms of ice. So now let's go ahead and do this. I don't know why it is doing that, but it is apparently glitched the game pretty good. So
inventory full.
okay, there we go. I just had to take it out and put it back in, so that way it worked right. Alright, locate shipwreck, huh? Well, I guess I gotta go over there and go get a shipwreck. Let me see, what am I supposed to take? A hydrogen ship's log mentions a transmission with an unknown vessel crashed nearby. References an orbital station called Violation Station. Locate the crash site and retrieve the coordinates. So let's just go and use this. We'll go over there. We'll go see about that crash site. And then we could probably come back, get the ship, and... Ooh. Look at that out there. Look at those planets. And it looks like that would probably be Kemik right there where the reticule is, because you can looks like the rings around it. Okay, cool. So that means we haven't seen the moon yet. And it looks like there's a moon right above Kemik right there. That is crazy. And there's Delphos. That's awesome.
just downloaded a waypoint, Valation Station, belonging to the Colonization Authority.
Who or what is that?
Apparently, it's an orbital station built to support colonization in the Almagest system. The logs mention contracts and rewards.
Finally! This can get me out of here. Get up there and see what's on offer.
Alright, now we can actually get into the ship, and now manage blocks in the grid you're interacting with. Open from a seat. Press K to open the control panel while seated, and find the O2 generator in the list and turn it on. Okay, so that's what we have to do now, and then we have to get that going, and then that will take a little bit for that to get charged. There that is, and let's go ahead and turn that baby on. Okay, there we go. Now, I am actually just going to go ahead and get out. I'm going to let that charge up for a little bit. It is going to take a little while for that to charge, but it shouldn't take too terribly long, and then that will be good, and then we should have enough to be able to go up into space. So right now it's at 73% full, which I think is going to be good enough. So let's just go ahead and let's blast off, and let's go see if we can get out there, huh? Want to make sure we don't run into anything while we're going, you know, that would be bad. So right now behind us, right over there, and right over there, you can see the rings, and it's also right above us. So I think that's actually really cool. We will go and see those rings. I just want to make sure that we also, you know, get out to Valation Station, because those rings are probably a lot farther away than they look. But actually, I really don't know just how far away they actually are. I'm thinking that they're a good long ways away. But maybe we could actually go out there and see, huh? I haven't made it to Valation Station yet, mainly because I wanted to show you something real quick. So right now, I am right next to an asteroid, an asteroid. And then right over there is the moon. How do you like that? So right there is the moon that they have for Verdure. That's pretty awesome. That looks pretty amazing. But yeah, this ring is actually going to take a lot longer to get to than what I thought. I don't know if there's actually going to be anything around here or not. So what I'm going to have to do is go see what there is, and if there is actually anything around here, because I really don't know. It isn't looking like there's going to be a lot around here, but it is so hard to tell right now. Mainly because we can't see anything, because it's like, you know, dark. Okay, so there is some stuff here. That's good. Nickel and iron, so we could actually build a ship and then come drilling and do some things out here. I just don't know if there is going to be any of the magnesium out here or anything, so we're definitely gonna have to... Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. I don't know if we go to tab. Okay, data pads, that's what we can find. There's the inventory. I don't know if I go to I. Nope, that doesn't do anything. G. Okay, that's only the blueprints and the blocks and that kind of stuff. T doesn't do anything, and I don't know how we get to where we can, you know, mark stuff on the map, and so that's one thing that we're definitely going to have to look for. Oh, map right there. Okay, but we really cannot zoom too terribly close in. There's Palatine, there's Kemik and Caligo. Of course, we will have to do the missions to be able to go back to Kemik, but I do know that there is... I gotta find the ship. Some other things happening. Luckily, I did park right over here by this asteroid, because I just went in there, so it's going to be right near here. I just kind of have no way to really mark the ship. So I don't even know how we would go about marking the ship right now, because as far as I know, there are no waypoints or anything. And so that's going to be one of the problems, is we just do got to be so very careful when we are out and about. And that's going to be an issue. But we'll worry about that later. Right now, I just wanted to show you the moon, because I think that's actually really awesome right there. That looks pretty amazing, and the rings are a long ways away. It doesn't seem like it, but they are a very long ways away. I did make it to Validation Station. Now all I gotta do is get this thing parked again. And I gotta get that guy lined up to where, you know, we can get that hooked up. Hopefully this will be easier than it was the first time. Looks like I'm actually fairly close, and yep, the connector's telling me that I am gonna be good there. Sweet. Alright, there we go. Now I can just let that guy sit there like that. And now we are at Validation Station. And of course in here it's going to look a little funky because of the way that it is. But you can at least get to see some things. And now you can also actually see the moon a little bit. Even though this sphere is definitely changed. It doesn't have the same, you know, hexagons or octagons or whatever it was, and now has a different look to it, and you can see the rings right there too. Now of course the sun is, or the planet's blocking out the part of the rings, but you can see a little bit right back there. So we're gonna have to get some contracts done so that way we can go and do things. I don't know how dangerous they're gonna be. We're gonna have to go and find some stuff, some stuff to make, you know, some sort of weapons and that kind of stuff. So we may actually end up building a base, and then we can find some other stuff, and then we can come and do a whole bunch of things. I mean, I don't know if we're going to build a base here or on the planet. I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe you could give me a suggestion, you know, about what I could do, so that way I can know. Oh, the trade terminal. Okay, that is for trading.
Colonist detected. Welcome to Validation Station, the central hub of the Verdure sector. I am the Colonization Authority. When the first waves of the Bearing Project arrived, the cohesion of human-led decision-making was suboptimal. As a solution, neutral stations were constructed across the system, and then I was created. I assess the needs of each sector and generate contracts to achieve the necessary goals of colonization. And with their completion, steps toward a functioning, advanced civilization become evident. Colonization is the sworn duty of every human who arrives in the Almagest. However, personal projects are expected. Each contract provides compensation upon completion, and you will be permitted to use more sophisticated technology as you progress. Colonization requires order. Order requires participation. Your actions will shape the future of mankind in the Almagest system. Your first contract is ready.
As expected, the station is fully automated, but there is some kind of gateway network to travel through the whole system.
Come and get me then. We can do the contracts together.
We still don't have the materials to repair the ship. I don't even know exactly where you are, and someone needs to monitor the colonists.
And you've decided I'm the one to stay behind?
It's the logical choice, Yvonne. I'll be back soon.
Are you serious? You'll leave me stranded while you go adventuring across the Almagest. Brother of the Millennium, right there.
It's the only way. Conserve power and rest. I'll come back for you. I promise.
Okay, so that loading screen happened. I had no idea that was actually going to happen or not, so that was very interesting. So this is where we do the contracts, of course, and now this trade system, I don't know anything about it. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like we can probably trade something to get something, or we can actually maybe take stuff. I don't know. I have no idea what we're doing here. Balance 10,000. Okay, looks like we have balance 0. Okay, we don't have anything in our balance right here, but they have balance of 10,000. So we need to go see what we can do to this. Can't be traded here. Oh, this is where we can trade stuff. Okay, so we could actually trade something and go see what we can get, I guess. I don't know. We can give it a try. Hide empty inventories, show connected inventories, kit. I don't know exactly how we would trade things. Okay, sell steel tube, that's going to be 26. And if we were to sell all 20, okay, 26, we would get 800 profit. Okay, that's what we would get there. What about the motor? Let me take that over there, and we're going to get 1700 for all 11 motors, which is not bad. Okay, but I just want to go through and actually see what some of this stuff is. 6,000 for the glass, or steel plates, I guess it is. And I thought I had some glass. There we go. Glass, let's go see about that. That'd be 7,000 with 63 glass, of course. That's a lot of glass. But at least we got to see a little bit of the trade system, so we need to get a balance by selling stuff, and then anything we can't trade, we're not going to be able to worry about as much, and we can begin doing contracts again. And now we have a little bit more things, and they kind of told a little bit of a story there, and you got to see some of the contracts that we have done. So I thought that was actually really, really cool. So this is Space Engineers 2. Thank you for joining me here. We found some very interesting things, I do gotta say. And we made it to Violation Station. We got to see the rings. That was pretty doggone awesome. And we got to see the moon too. So now we have all of that stuff happening, and then we can, go and build a base, potentially, probably, and there's Delphos. And we can go and see. There's a supply depot out there. Looks like we could probably go out there and get some things. And we can begin doing some contracts around here and get some money and stuff like that to buy some things. And then we can build on Verdure and do some other things like that. So this is going to be very exciting. I will work on building a base. I just want to do that with you, so that way, we can do this together. And if you, whatever you think I should do, leave me a comment so that way I know, and then we can work together. And we can go build a base, do some missions, a little bit of both. Go and see about what the things that we can do and all of that. I think that would be very interesting to do some things, along those lines. So if you've enjoyed this episode, drop a like on the video. And now we have some new things to do. And the trade thing is right here. And we can begin trading as soon as we can get stuff, or we can do things. And we also need to find some more magnesium. That is for sure, since we lost all of that, which I guess does happen. We'll just have to go and see if we can find some more. In any case, you have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.